give you Janet Gray with her speech entitled Smart. Smart, Janet Gray.
Who here has things they would like to do but often have trouble finding the time to do them? Each day we're often juggling many tasks, often at home, work, family, or maybe even as with members of a community group like Toastmasters. There's just so much stuff we need to do. And it can become overwhelming, and we can feel a little guilty about all the things that we're not getting done. But there are some things we can do to help. And one of the first things in helping with time management, one of the first steps is goal setting. To find out what is actually important so that we can prioritise our time. Now, in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey recommends that we picture a funeral. It's our own funeral. And then we think about the things that our friends, family, colleagues will be saying about us. What sort of person you were? What did you do? What did you achieve? And this is quite a powerful way of thinking about working out what is actually important in your life, which can then help with setting long-term goals, to work out the steps and plans of how we need to achieve them, but also allows you to work out what's not important, what not to spend our time on. So perhaps one of the things that you would have liked somebody to say, as an example, would be, I wish old Joe was here to give his own eulogy. He was such a great public speaker. It was so moving. So funny. So perhaps one of your goals may be that you wanted to have been a fantastic public speaker. And that goal it's a nice goal, but it's still a little bit vague. It needs to be a bit better defined. It needs to be smart. So smart goals are specific. Sorry, I might need to bring that. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. It needs to be specific. So a goal such as, I would really like to be a better person, probably not going to quite cut it, but perhaps you may want to say, by the end of this year, I would like to do 2 things for a charitable organisation, volunteer work, something like that. A bit more specific, a bit more achievable too. So it needs to be measurable. You need to be able to see whether you've reached it or not. Or you also need to, you can also help track how you're going. It needs to be attainable. You need to be able to actually be able, it has to be feasible basically. So to the dream of perhaps to boldly go where no man has gone before, to a galaxy far, far away, probably isn't going to be achievable, maybe at least within the next few years. It needs to be relevant to your values, your life, your beliefs. So for those of you that know Paul, perhaps here you can't imagine that he would have a goal of maybe creating the most intensive pig farm in Victoria or something like that. The other thing, it needs to be time-bound. And this one is very important. You need to be able to set a time frame for the goals, otherwise they have a tendency to just drift It also allows you to be able to set more shorter-term goals in order to achieve that as well. So by setting a time frame, you can then work out what you're going to be doing in 5 years' time to achieve your goal, 2 years' time, 1 year's time. What do you need to be doing right now? What's the next step that you need to take? And that's very important in a way to help overcome procrastination, knowing what that next step is. So how do we make this dream of being a fantastic public speaker a reality? Has anybody got some suggestions for some smart goals that you might have for becoming a fantastic public speaker? Something that would make it more succinct.
Join Toastmasters.
Join Toastmasters. That would be a very good step. Any other ones?
Practice.
Practice, yeah.
Recognising testing skills.
Yeah. And also in terms of, you still need to be able to set a time frame too. So you may want to set a time frame for, right, I'm going to join Toastmasters tomorrow or today, as has been the case. But it may be something like, right, if it's a really huge goal, maybe in 5 years' time, you want to be earning a living entirely from public speaking engagements. How are you going to get to there? Perhaps one of the more interim goals could be something like, I'm going to become a distinguished Toastmaster within 2 years. Is that feasible? You'd need to have a look in the manuals and see what steps that, how many speeches you need to do, how many things from your leadership manual, what projects. So that's the way that you can help break it down into chunks. So thinking about what's important in your life and setting goals helps us to work out what we need to do and perhaps what we don't need to do. And by clearly defining the SMART goals, it provides a better sort of a plan to be able to achieve those goals. Working out right down to what's the next step that you need to take. But I did say that setting goals is only part of managing your time better. There are also things that can help in terms of prioritisation and also